The marathon running community is still in shock after one of their own died while running the Detroit Free Press Marathon yesterday.
The man passed away after collapsing around mile marker 5 on the Canadian side of the race in Windsor.
7 News Detroit reporter WXYZ-TV is learning more about the runner.
A 57-year-old man died on Sunday while taking part in the full leg of the Detroit Marathon. Organizers say it happened near mile marker 5 in Windsor. That's why I came here to learn more about the athlete and the details surrounding his untimely passing. After knocking door to door, I learned that the athlete went down near Riverside Drive and Elm Street. That's where I met Susan Georges, who was standing outside her home cheering for her sister-in-law and other runners. And just around 8:45 a.m., she witnessed something she will never forget.
This is right about where it happened. He had fallen, and immediately, there was a few people around him, and when I saw, I came running over, with the water.
Susan works as a nurse at Henry Ford in Detroit.
Well, my instant reaction was to see if he needed CPR. He had a thready pulse and wasn't responding to us, to our commands, and there was an ICU nurse here, there was another doctor.
Another source confirmed that the 57-year-old was an American citizen. The athlete collapsed due to cardiac arrest. He was transported within minutes to Windsor Regional Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. When you read that...
Yeah, I was really sad. My heart went out to the families and to, his loved ones, his friends.
The winners of this year's marathon, Andrew Bowman and Sydney DeVore Bowman, were devastated to hear the news. The husband and wife drove from Ferndale to honor the fellow athlete who they did not know.
You look at this stretch of road and, for some of us, we felt pretty good going down it, but then somebody else lost their lives on the other side of that coin.
His mom, who is in the same age group, was out there running as well, and we had friends in that age group running, and to think that any of them might not have made it back is just kind of unthinkable.
Going over the Ambassador Bridge, coming down, crossing mile marker 5, what are some of the challenges you think an athlete would face?
The bridge is the most challenging part of the entire marathon course. It can be a shock to your heart if you don't manage that hill. You're coming down the ramp and you get into this stretch, and while it's flat, if you started out a little faster than you should have, I think you could definitely be in trouble.
Andrew and Sydney have taken part in several marathons. They also coach other athletes as well, but they say no one can ever prepare for something like this.
For a lot of us, it's just a reminder and an appreciation of the time we have together. Anything could have happened out there, but the reality is it happened, and that's just incredibly sad.
Now, the marathon organizers are not disclosing the identity of the athlete out of respect. In Windsor, I'm WXYZ-TV, 7 News Detroit.
So very sad. Thank you so much, Faraz. I spoke to a local cardiologist who we rely on when tragedies like this one make headlines. Dr. Shukri Davis says sudden deaths like this when running a long marathon are rare. However, in 25 to 30% of the cases, it's caused by a blockage in one of the coronary arteries. That can lead to a heart attack and sudden death.
So when you're running or when you're doing vigorous exercise, is there a way for you to know that you are in trouble and that you might end up dying if you don't stop doing that exercise or if you don't stop running immediately?
If you've been jogging and running and you've been at the 5-mile mark, you've been feeling good, and now you're starting to feel short of breath, or you have chest pain or extreme fatigue, you probably should stop and not complete the race. So you have to listen to your body.
Dr. David says it is critical for runners, especially over the age of 40, to get a good evaluation prior to running, especially if you have risk factors like diabetes, hypertension, or a family history of sudden cardiac death. So very important to get checked out.
And really good reminders. Yeah. Thanks, Carolyn.